broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
If you get in trouble.
Welcome, After Buzzers. Kevin Undergaro here, doing another episode of Bar Rescue. And seated with me tonight, the lovely and talented, should I say your name or are you going to say it?
Oh, either or.
Ms. Ashley Grace Daniels.
We added my middle name tonight. How formal.
AGD.
How formal.
And of course, it's a pleasure to have Phil Svitek.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be back.
Very nice. Very
Great
nice.
episode.
Oh my God, like it's just cliche that I do this show. Every week, I'm saying the same thing. It's an unbelievable show, and I feel like my favorite episodes are continually topped by new favorite episodes. I thought this was an amazing episode.
Here's what I my initial reaction to this was, obviously there's so much to discuss in terms of the female issue, but I think for me where it actually stemmed from was more so where it almost became like a boys club in the sense of that he hired these men and he could brag on them, and he didn't really want to teach them to be great bartenders. He just liked to be, you suck at this, try again. Like it just seemed like they were all hanging out and making fun of each other the whole time.
I find that part of it confusing. But just before we get into that, just talking about, for me, this had so many incredible elements to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought Mia was a rock star on it, which she always is, but I feel like John gives her more rope because he knows she can handle it. And she ran with it. We didn't have a food element. So, if you took Mia out of this episode, it's still an amazing episode, but I thought she added so much to it. The guy, wow. For the chauvinistic thing, but the
Greg.
arrogance, the cockiness, Greg and stepson Angelo. And then, just a pink bar. But, okay, so by the way, it's a pink bar. He brings in all male bartenders. All right, I'm leading the horses to water, but, I mean, is this a guy that, does he also like?
I mean, his wife
is beautiful.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I thought one of the prettiest wives on Bar Rescue. I loved her.
Other than Nicole Taffer, obviously.
Well, she's not as a barmaid owner.
Kidding.
Yeah, no. But, and my own Maria, of course, has been on. But no, as far as the bar owners' wives, I thought she was she's probably the prettiest I've ever seen. But, I mean, Ashley, you speak to that as a female. Tell me.
Well, I was going to say, going on to the pink thing, I think it was obviously something that he decided to do because he didn't have food. We didn't see any food. Did we see any food there?
No.
Saying as we learned from John, it diminishes your appetite.
He didn't do it because
no, I know, but I'm saying it was coincidental. At least it helped him out in that sense.
Why did he have all men in a pink bar?
Because he just thought that in his head it was that girls are going to cause
gossip,
chaos.
No one saw potentially latent homosexuality.
I just thought he just thought girls are going to bring in gossip and they're going to be late and lazy, and he just had all these ideas as to how girls would work.
I think
he
honestly,
didn't really give them a chance.
Did he really believe that? I mean, that's bartending 101.
You're really digging deep. I don't know.
I don't think I'm digging deep. It's unless it's. I've never seen a bar that's all guys unless it's a gay bar. There's no. I mean, everyone that's in the bar business knows. I think cute cocktail waitresses, cute bartenders, and just like John said, a female will not be offended by a pretty female bartender, but it doesn't work the same way to have a male and a female. There's a definite pull to female bartenders.
John did say in the beginning that it's an upscale martini bar drawing women in, or that's how they are trying to sell
their
the
intention
bar.
Was to draw women in.
That's
with
what
that.
he said in the beginning. So obviously it wasn't true.
Women also don't spend a lot in a bar. Anyway.
True.
I think here that is definitely a possibility. But the alternate could be if I don't think he does not know a lot, right? Even though he pretends to. And so when you think of pink, okay, it's a colorful color, and so you're like, okay, what's gonna make this pop? Well, let's go with pink. Now, I there's other colors that pop as well. So I don't know. Pink was the best
I think
choice.
Ashley, I think you said it best. I think you've educated me. I think he was trying to lure women into the bar, so he went with good-looking bartenders or guy bartenders, and he went with a pink bar. Okay, so I'm over that. But the arrogance on this guy was, and then I was thinking, was it? Did he have dad's money to play with for a long time? Was it that kind of kid? Who the father had a lot of money and a lot of success, and he was able to play around with that, but that makes him arrogant and bratty. But then also he feels like a failure because he can't live up to the dad's success. He can only take the dad's money and then run this bar and run it into the ground.
You had that point where he says, I'm tired of going to you every time I need you, or whatever it was, and so it certainly seemed that way, that funds, at least some of them, were coming from there. Because that's a huge. They were making $60,000 a month. Way back when. Now they're down to $24,000.
But I think he was very, unlike a lot of people who are spoiled and they have somebody just handing them money and fixing situations for them. In this case, I felt like he actually quickly changed his point of view, and as we'll talk about later, but he was easily able to change his mind. John was easily able to change Greg's mind, and Greg was open-minded. And I feel like a lot of times people that are handed things, they're a little more stubborn, but he was very open. I mean,
but I think he
wasn't, because I think you're thinking of those really spoiled kids who have everything handed to them. I'm not saying that. This is a guy that did work in the club business, and by the way, though Mia beat him soundly, he could actually bartend. He could. We've seen bad bartenders on this. He wasn't a bad bartender. He just was a mediocre bartender. But
he was beat.
So, but you don't get that. You're not born with that. He did work at clubs. He did do enough work. It's just not all the way there. So I wouldn't say he's that guy. I wouldn't say he's like lazy.
Okay.
We've seen that before. We've seen the lazy guy that's being fronted by the family. It's not that. It's just that took the money to open the bar, showing up every day, but failing. And the father's probably failing. But the arrogance that he had, that's kind of where that comes from, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, in terms of this episode, the Mia and Greg thing, one of the nice parts is that you absolutely have a winner and a loser, right? And Paul Newman said it best, like when you hand out an Oscar, people just kind of vote on it and whatever, but when you win a race, there's a clear winner and a loser. And so in this case, it was easy to showcase why Greg was wrong.
Right. It's not, it's why people like sports, because there is a winner and a loser. It's not subjective.
And think that's why it was easy for him to change his mind.
Let's back up. Okay. So this is all general thoughts. Let's go in order.
Okay.
We see the opening of the place. I noticed the same. I get annoyed when I see that open sign, which you can buy on Amazon for about $50. So just the little round open, the little oval open sign that I see in any business, and I'm like, okay, really? Mm-hmm. But then a banner. That banner was, like John said, was $30 banner. That's your sign for the outside. So we clearly knew and they said, I can't wait to go inside, because they knew what they saw. And then leave it to John to teach us. The John Hopkins study tells us that pink makes it less appetizing. Yeah. So people are going to be less to spend money, which again, I never knew.
Which is great if you don't have food there. But.
Right.
But you
and
still
less
want
have to drink too. Right. But less have to drink too, which I think what he meant was just everything.
Right.
Eat or drink. It's not going to make you want to drink more. I thought the Greg being over everyone's shoulder, micromanaging too. Like, who hasn't had that boss?
I think at one time or another we had a teacher or a boss or somebody above us that did that. So I thought that did you guys agree that the part that really stood out when Mia and John were talking in the car was when he was trying to sell these three girls that came in the whiskey and vodka drink, mixing it together? I felt like that just brought them both over the edge.
Yeah, they both died. They both keeled over.
So that's just crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely insane. It can never taste good, ever.
No, but he had the confidence of the devil.
He was selling it. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen a bar rescue have overstaff like that either. I don't remember. There was 5 guys behind the bar, and it was a really small bar, and it wasn't not many people there.
Yep.
I mean, that's why for me it just goes back to it was one big kind of boys club. And that's for me. That's why women weren't there. It's just because it's so much easier. I think he just wanted to make fun of those bartenders. He did not want to teach them.
That's awesome.
I'm going to stick by that.
I think you're right.
Mia's on the phone. Is that correct?
Hello.
Yeah.
Great. Mia!
Hi, guys.
Hi, beautiful.
Mia, another one of my favorite episodes. Just so cliche that I say this every week, but I thought this was amazing. And man, you really stepped it up this week.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, guys, this one was intense, huh?
I also give credit to the editors, Phil, in the filming. The one shot that sticks in my brain is John and Greg are talking about how women bartenders are inferior, and they cut to the shot of Mia,
Walking in.
all 6 feet of her, just coming
Mia,
in.
what did I tell you earlier when I texted you? I said that's the one scene when
Yes.
you walked in into
Yes.
your face. It's so true.
So let's give
It was
credit to
amazing.
the producers as well, because
Amazing.
to shoot that and edit it was perfect. So in you come into the bar as the deputy. It was incredible. And you just knew he was going to get his ass kicked. Although, Mia, I will say, he put up a better fight than I thought.
I agree, 100%. Like, this is a guy who clearly had done his homework. You know, we got there and the bar was immaculate. I think he thought that, you know, he was going to show John Taffer that this is the one guy who didn't have a dirty bar, who had a cocktail menu in place that he had come up with, and he had done his homework. He knew cocktails, and he had clearly studied, but that was ultimately not the problem. The problem was this man's attitude.
Did he not, correct me if I'm wrong, in the beginning, doesn't John say it's nice to meet an expert or something like that to Greg? It's nice to meet somebody who's an expert.
Because earlier on in one of the videos, I think Greg had alluded to the fact that he considers himself to be a disciple of John Taffer, that he's read the books, that he's followed John,
Right.
and has really tried to study from him and like use him as a model to build his bar.
You know,
Right.
you know what happens? I find a lot, even when I give advice in Hollywood, is one of the most frustrating things is beyond when they ignore your advice, is when they take your advice out of context, and they come back and you say, "No, it says in your book too," and like, wait, no, that's not what I meant. So it's funny that I like the fact he cleaned the bar, he read all the books. That's nice, because we've often feared that this was going to happen, that someone was going to get wise, clean up beforehand, and be the one to, like you said, to be the one to show John how it is.
Right. And he was very friendly at the beginning to the 3 people, even though he was trying to sell them vodka and whiskey. I thought to myself, he's putting this on for the cameras a little bit, being very friendly and talking about the drinks. And also, he did not catch on that John was not being serious when he's like, meeting an expert. I'm meeting an expert. He really believed that John, he's like, well, that's great coming from you. It's like,
Yeah, you're an expert. John, in arrogance lies your failure. My God. But Mia, you really pulled a lot out. I mean, how, no coaching, nothing? You went free
No,
form?
and here's the thing. Like, this is a very emotional episode for me, more so than any other that I've been a part of. It really struck a nerve. And going into this episode, I had no knowledge of Greg. I had no knowledge of his attitude. They kept every detail of this bar concept and this owner from me. And they were very, very, secretive and very careful to make sure that I never saw any footage before I was in the SUV. When I see those videos, I am watching that for the first time, and that was an honest reaction. And I was so appalled at what was coming out of his mouth, and I almost couldn't believe it, because it's like I am in such an amazing position to be a part of the show and to go in and work with different groups of bartenders, and I really love this opportunity. And I am also a bartender, and I am in the trenches, at a bar, and I work side by side with people, and especially women, who work very, very hard at what we do. And we study our craft, and we study cocktails, and we study technique. And for him to be belittling my peers and have me be a representative of the people that I respect and learn from, and give me inspiration, I couldn't handle it. I was so infuriated by what he was saying, and it was so incredulous.
It was nuts.
That it really struck a nerve with me.
I mean, I've never known any male to not want a female bartender on staff. I mean, unless it was a gay bar, honestly, because I always thought that was bartending 101 as far as just to make money, that it was just for that advantage alone. So that was new to me, that to have a heterosexual male in a pink bar not want a female bartender. Like, that just blew me away.
Yeah.
Have you ever known that before, Mia? I mean, I could see an owner that's disrespectful of the female bartenders, trying to hit on the female bartenders, but to not want them, it's almost insane.
And that was that, and the fact that he continually defended that decision.
Right, but he started to stutter a little bit about it. He started to realize as he was speaking that he wasn't making any sense. So he was starting to go all over the place and ramble. And then when you walked in, he knew immediately that this was a really bad idea, saying what he said. And just want to tell you, you held yourself so well despite being aggravated at the situation and what he was saying. You did not fold for a second. You were so serious, and you were just you did such an amazing job.
What was it when this was, by the way, I forgot, I wanted to open the show. I'm gonna do it right now. Phil, I am not gonna go any further unless you say that I'm better than you. And what did you say? And I deserve your respect.
Was that your idea, obviously, right?
Phil, please. I'm not going any further.
Here's the thing. I have gotten an overwhelming response from this episode in regards to social media. There has been a tremendous outpouring of response from this episode.
Positive, right?
I'm blown away by the response.
Positive response, right, Mia?
Yes, but there are some that took that quote out of context, and I would just like to clarify that in one of the videos of Greg talking, he distinctly said, there is no female bartender that is better than me. And that is where I was taking that from. I was not saying that I was better than him as a person. I was saying I was better than him as a bartender.
You're way overthinking this, Mia. It would be like Clint Eastwood explaining one of his best lines. Like, no,
you did amazing.
Leave it alone.
That was great.
That was unbelievable.
I'm
telling you now. I'm going to my next. No, the next meeting I have in Hollywood, I'm going to open it with, before we go any further, I want you to, because God damn it, I'm like you, Mia. I am better than them. Next meeting I have in Hollywood, I am going to say, I'm better. I am not going to go any further with this meeting, magical elves. If you do not admit that I'm better than you and I deserve your respect. Not necessarily magical elves. We can say another company, but you know what I mean. I love that line.
There was no way.
Mia, there's no apologies, no explanations. Nothing.
Who didn't respect me, and it trickles down from the top. And his staff had started to be infected by his way of thinking. And I knew that they wouldn't respect me if he didn't respect me.
Right.
And I couldn't do what I needed to do and train them and make any progress for this bar or help them in any way unless he said it.
Okay, and I also have to give a shout out to John, as always, because he's such a great host and producer and storyteller. Because the fact that, first of all, I give you such credit for an amazing line and having the Quinones to say it. Mm-hmm. But also in the back of your head, you could be thinking, wait, maybe I'm screwing up John's show. You know, and the fact that John was just sat there with the arms folded and let it all play out, had your back totally, again, just amazing.
Because I worry about, honestly, when I watched it, because I know you, I got a little bit nervous because I see these men with, glasses in their hands and sharp objects, and I'm thinking to myself, I get a little worried because you're being tough, you're giving them tough love, but I don't know who these people are from a hole in the wall. I don't know what they're going to do.
She's Boston than you, Mia. She's closer to the Boston area, so that's where her mind goes.
Yeah, so my mind's going what is going to happen? I just get nervous, but I never get myself to that point because I know John's always protecting you and he's always there.
That's how I feel too. I know that when I am with John and I am next to John, nothing bad will happen.
Exactly, and that's what was able to get me through the episode. I'm like, thank God, do not let her be alone, please.
I mean, listen, I was not worried about that, and if something happened, my goodness, as long as you can take the hit, Mia, it would only be great for your career. It would only be great for the show and your career. Everything would be fine.
Let's not ever open that door.
No, but you never have to worry worry with John there ever. Oh my God.
I don't think John's gonna worry about that. I don't.
I
think,
worry about him too. When he gets close to the guys and he's telling them,
he's the worry.
I get so scared.
He's got a target on him.
But that's another remarkable thing about John, aside from having such business savvy and bar sense and how all of this ties together. More so than so many men that I know, he has a tremendous respect for women, and he has a tremendous respect for women bartenders. And I think he saw this as an opportunity to highlight that and females in the industry. And it was such a powerful statement and a powerful moment, just to play into it all. And it just worked.
Well, the fact that he stepped back and let you do it, that's amazing. Because sometimes we, in the royal we with guys like John and myself, is we get overprotective. And then you wouldn't get a chance. But it was great that he's like, no, Mia's got this. And you certainly did. It's just incredible.
Thank you.
What else it's hard because I know you're with this person for 4 or 5 days, but what was your take on him? Like, how did he get there?
I mean, you don't just get there overnight.
Right. So that we met the dad, we saw the wife. How does he get there?
I think it's environment. I think it's circumstances. I don't know enough about him personally to know what his upbringing was like, or his interactions with females, or maybe his dating history, or something that may have scarred him, or initially put this thought process into his head. You don't know where that comes from. And yes, we're with them for a time, but it's like that was there. Like, that seed had implanted in him and grown and flourished, and that was not something he was putting on for the cameras. That was his belief system. He was rooted in that. So it's hard to say where it comes from.
Okay.
I can't really speculate.
Gotcha. So I really enjoyed the drink total too. You put them to task to do 110 or I forget how many drinks you guys had to do. I love the Chiron. I love the competition behind all that. My boy Doug gave away drinks and unfortunately was removed.
Yeah, it's easy to be fast when you're just giving your drinks away and not doing any transactions.
Do you think that this is always how he was? Because initially I thought to myself, okay, he knows it's for the show and he wants to look his best during the show, so he's going to sneak these free drinks so he can get them out faster? Or do you think this is how he always is, despite the cameras being there? Because I know they said that he's been fired 3 times and rehired back, so I'm guessing.
Exactly. And they never told us why he had been fired previously.
Oh.
But it seems like this guy had been given a lot of second chances.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, and Greg really didn't seem to have that big of a problem letting go of him when it, was so evident that this was happening. And he was just like, it was just kind of like, all right, no, we've done this before. Now it's real.
I want to go.
Now you're gone.
I have to go back because I have to throw out the line about Greg being the pink castle on his pink throne. John had such great lines, and when he asked everybody if they agreed, did you notice they all did except one? There was one suck ass.
One? Really?
Yeah, there was one guy that he was going down with Team Greg. I actually admired him for that. I really do.
He was loyal.
How much were you privy to John speaking to the dad, Greg's dad?
Oh, I wasn't. I mean, I knew that his parents were coming in, but that was all John. And I mean, it was a very interesting turn and interesting take, because it gave you a bit of the background, and there was so much of this story that, Greg was. He said early on when he first sat down with John in the corner, everybody is searching for their dad's approval. And, his dad had told him to sell the bar 4 years ago. So he was very much doing this in part for his father's approval. So for John to sit with the dad, I thought that was really insightful, and it was really kind of getting to the root psychologically of kind of what makes this guy tick.
I thought it was great too what the father said, which is like, I never thought you were a personal failure. It's just I didn't think the decisions and the things you were doing wasn't right. And so, I mean, I give, as I say every week, I give so much credit to John because what a breakthrough he gave them. Because how many people have that relationship with parents, brothers, sisters, whatever, and then they take it to the grave. And usually it's on the deathbed they say that. And it's like, oh, I thought for years you thought I was a failure. Well, no, that's not what I thought. I was just, I didn't thought some of this, anyway, it was.
Well, even Greg admitted you can't put a value on that money-wise.
Yeah, you can't.
So that was really nice to see.
Really huge breakthrough.
It.
I also liked, Mia, how you gave him props too. I was like, and Greg, you did.
Yes, you did. Yeah, that's good.
You did okay.
Well, here's the thing.
That is true.
Much to my dismay, Greg really did have a shift in attitude that week. And he really did kind of turn around and make a very quick shift. I think he realized that, he would be missing a tremendous opportunity if he just decided to be, obstinate in his thinking and was not open to having me train his staff or, listen to what I would say. And I was nervous going into training with all those guys. I was like, I don't know if they're going to try to play stump the bartender or like ask me questions to throw me off. I didn't know what I was walking into. Part of me was fearing an ambush of like, all right, now we're really going to show this girl. But like I said earlier, it trickles down from the top. And the fact that Greg had a shift, you could feel it. You could feel it on set at the bar throughout the week that he really did kind of loosen up and he was just open. Like the driving force is that he just wanted a better bar. He wanted to succeed. He wanted to have a prosperous business and improve his relationship and help his family. And it was genuine. That was genuine.
Did you just quickly wanted to know about the bars around? Did you have a chance to look around at all at other bars? I know you were very busy, but did you get a chance to see? Because I know we had a very young demographic. I believe it was 25 years, and 43% of them were 25 and under. And it was a tech crowd. So just curious if you got a chance to see the town or just other bars around there.
There was actually a neighboring bar right next door, like on the same block. That was it was like an Irish-themed pub, and they were phenomenal. We actually did our once they had started the renovation on the bar, they allowed us to come in and do our training there at their bar. And they had a booming business, and they were hitting the market and the demographic of that area. So, like, clearly there was something very off-putting about Mandala Lounge, because the people that were going to a bar that was walking distance from this place were not venturing over to the Pink Castle.
Interesting.
I thought the renovation was tremendous.
Oh my gosh.
And
it was one of the best.
Right, one of the best, right?
The
So
windows.
okay, so tell me, you've been around more of these in person than us, Mia. Why do you say one of the best? Because I felt so too, but why do you say that?
Here's the thing. I mean, that bar was the main bar, the main pink room that was no longer pink.
And the bamboo,
was
which
tiny.
nobody gave a shout out to the
was-
bamboo, which I loved. But go ahead.
It was tiny, and it felt kind of like, oh, I'm trapped in a room. There were no windows, so it was very stagnant. It just felt like energetically stale. But by putting those TVs on the walls and essentially creating windows, it really transformed the space. It was brilliant.
So those were
John
those were
continues to do this
TVs?
again
Yeah.
and again, but it's like he gave this tiny little room
could change the
windows
theme.
and a view that really expanded the space. And what they did to that outside patio, oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
Mia, for the windows, just to explain to people, it was called something TV. I forget the name of it, but there's a name of, I don't know the company name if you remember, but it's okay if you don't.
I
But
don't
You
off
you
the
can
top of my
change
head.
the window theme to be anything. They can stream live when outdoor, like New York theme or any
We
type
need
of
to
theme.
find out what that is, because
Yeah.
that's great even in a set.
Yeah.
We've done we've done photos that we've backlit, but I didn't know those were TV monitors.
You can
That's
change it
great.
to anything, and you can also stream, I believe, to different
Oh, my
outdoor
goodness.
looks. That's why it looks like a
Every
high
week
rise.
you
different
guys-
cities, different landscapes.
It's like you were in a
You can
high
make
rise.
night, you can make a day.
Did you get to see other themes, or did they keep it at that the whole time?
No, they just kept it at that while I was there. I mean, the only time that I was in there was for the relaunch once they, like,
Right.
I mean, literally hours after they had mounted those televisions. But it was so tremendous. And the response from the crowd the night of relaunch, like everyone was remarking about that. It was such an amazing feature.
Even
Gotta find
the way the bar was, had the LED front. Really good. I don't know. Yeah, and I love the buttons. The
elevator.
buttons. So clever.
And we learned so much from him every single week, but he was saying that the chairs had to be not so heavy looking because it makes it look bigger, makes the room look bigger when the chairs are not heavy
the
looking.
chairs we're sitting on right now that Steven fights me on all the time. We have these big giant chairs in this small studio, and I say the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and I did love the outside and the relief on the wife's face. I mean, this was it was one of the more exciting groups. I mean, usually they're very excited, but then I'm now watching to see when the veneer is going to rub off because you get the black screen that writes they changed the name back, or we go to the bar rescue updates or the Facebook page, we find out they changed the name. They seem genuinely happy with this decision.
$1,100.
They were, and I will tell you, I was in Las Vegas last week for the nightclub and bar convention, and Greg and his wife Karen were there, and we did have a run-in, and it was just kind of all of a sudden we were walking past each other, and I recognized him, and it's one of those experiences where you see someone out of context, but you know them, and all I could say was, you. And we just had a moment where we hugged it out, and honestly, I was like, how are you? Asked his wife, I was like, how is the bar? And honestly, these are the people that you want to help.
Yep.
These are the people who take the concept and run with it. And they are doing so well. And they are so appreciative. And it really is all about the business and all about mending the relationship and helping their family grow. And, hearing those powerful words from his father, it really was such a tremendous shift on so many levels. And they're reveling in it.
Do you think
Their
they kept the
bar
female
is
bartender,
successful.
Mia, do you think they kept the female bartender?
Yes, I know they did.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, we rarely get this kind of success story because they all go back. And I credit having a dad that was probably successful. And that's why actually I was saying he wasn't necessarily spoiled. He grew up with a successful dad, but he just really didn't know how to do it. Didn't know really how to manage the bar. Didn't have the common sense to not have a pink bar, to not hire females, but someone who grew up with success would know enough to say, hey, someone's coming in and doing all this free stuff for me, I better just listen and take the help, and that's I think where, anyway, that's my read on him from seeing 44 minutes of this.
$1,100 in sales in the first hour, and then 6 weeks later, Angela was promoted to manager, and sales were up 40%. And Greg hired 2 female bartenders.
Wow.
Pretty good.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
And then, when was this done, Mia? The renovation?
Oh, gosh, when was I there? Last month and a half ago.
Oh, wow, it's a quick turnaround.
Damn, it's getting scary and scary, the way you guys are doing things and how fast.
That's quick.
Oh, boy.
Well, you did an amazing job. Thank you for
I feel that it was fairly recent. I mean, all of my days are melding together these days. I've been very busy, but I know it was fairly recent.
Are we going to see you up here again, Mia?
I am currently in Vegas.
Wow.
I am working on a project that John has brought me in on, and we've been collaborating. I am at the Palms Hotel and Casino. We've put our heads together and come up with a new concept, a new menu for their main casino bar, the social bar. And I'm currently here doing 2 days of cocktail training with their staff.
So cool. Wow.
Yeah, it's great. And this is a great property. It's a great bar staff, and I'm having a blast.
That's
with them.
awesome. Good for you, girl.
Yeah, you're doing so great, Mia. And it is
you.
so refreshing to see what we saw tonight and to see you on the show. And Mia, movie star looks, right? Would you say, Ash?
Oh, you crazy?
Jennifer
Of course.
Garner.
Stop.
Jennifer
She's
Gardner.
stunning.
That's what I always said. Jennifer
She's stunning.
Garner.
She's stunning and she's smart. She's just everything.
And one day I'm going to be able to shake the drink with a big smile. Every time I see the people, it's that, how
I
she
know,
does that smile.
I know,
It's like
I
the
know.
Mia smile with the
We'll
dimples.
get you there, Kevin.
No, probably not. But when
Well,
do you
Mia-
come back to LA?
I'm back to LA on Wednesday, and hopefully I will be joining you guys at the AfterBuzz desk really soon.
Okay, good.
You have to get one of these Mondays off.
Mia, you'd be really proud of me. I made my first margarita by myself the other
There you
night. I was
go.
shaking it like you, and it came out. Rich said it was the best margarita he ever had. I think he was just being nice, but I just wanted to let you know I was totally channeling my inner tall/short Mia
Girl,
from
I'm
you
proud of
to
you.
me.
All
Thank
right,
you, girl.
Mia, we love you. Keep up the good work. Say hi to John for us, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Oh, Mia, one more thing. Mia,
What?
any comments on Pirates? Did you see last
Oh my
week?
gosh, I have
Please.
too many. We
No.
don't have enough time.
Yes, no, we have time. We have time. Come on,
Behind
Pirates.
the Bar was amazing. Oh my gosh, that was a great episode. I loved the concept of revisiting these other bars, but oh gosh, Pirates. I wish it could just go on forever.
Yeah. Well, please, some thoughts. Anything.
I mean, I'm sad for the employees. I'm sad for One-Eyed Mike, but
No, Phil's
that's where my heart
Phil's
goes.
bringing
But
him here.
We all knew that this was a failed concept. I'm
Yeah.
just sad that none of us had the chance to go there while they were still open.
You know, I think the rest of her life she's at those Renaissance fairs.
Probably.
And kind of a little bit slight wait a second, slight rock star status at those because of the bar rescue and being a head pirate. But I think that's her lot in life. And I think One-Eyed Mike, he'll linger there as well. We actually tried to call One-Eyed Mike, and unfortunately Phil and Marissa found a bar called One-Eyed Mike's. And,
Oh my goodness.
But it seemed like a pirate themed bar, and I wonder if One-Eyed Mike actually went to work there. Anyway,
All my dreams.
we're not going to let it go.
It was in Maryland. It was still in the same state.
Right. So
we were halfway there.
poor
Just
One-Eyed
wrong
Mike
Mike-
found the
wrong
one
One-Eyed
job he
Mike.
could be a pirate, and I love him back to the bar. It was like he had even more enthusiasm.
He did.
He upped his game. He upped his wardrobe. Did you notice?
Yes.
And she scaled back because she was like, please, I think she just wanted John there so bad that she went into the conservative attire. I'm not going to play pirate on this episode, but not One-Eyed Mike. He went down with the ship, all in.
These poor people. I feel like it's almost like I've seen people say, I've been on 2 episodes of Hoarders. What? That's not something to be proud of.
Yeah, no. No. Anyway, Mia,
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. We'll let you go now, but I had to get the pirate shout out in. 34
Oh my goodness,
minutes
of course.
in.
Guys, thank you
37
so
minutes.
much.
All right, baby
as
doll.
always.
Talk to you soon.
All
good.
right.
Well, amazing episode, guys. I thought it's funny because John had warned me a couple weeks ago. He said, the best is yet to come.
Really?
Yeah, he said the best yet to come, and I'm sure this is one. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how he does it. The producers, I give them all so much credit. And if you guys disagree with me, then let me know. Hit us on iTunes, on YouTube, tweet at us, whatever. But we love your comments. Most of you are as crazy and addicted to the show as we are, right?
I think they are.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh my
For them to
goodness.
listen to an after show about the show, I think they're addicted.
Yeah, probably. All right, Ashley, where do we find you?
Twitter at Ashley Daniels, Instagram at Miss Ashley Daniels.
I love it.
Tall Mia. That's not my Twitter, but that's Mia's Twitter.
That's right, at Tall
Tall
Mia.
underscore Mia, I think.
It's
right,
tall
Marissa?
underscore Mia.
Yes, tall
Thank you.
underscore Mia.
I
Yeah,
got you, girl.
guys, hit her up. Let her know you heard her on AfterBuzz. You can find me at Undergaro, and
about you?
he never does.
I
No,
never
You don't
tweet.
have any? You don't want to
No,
tweet?
I don't tweet.
he doesn't do anything.
I don't tweet. I
Aw.
don't Periscope. I don't any of that.
No.
Oh, whatever.
Someday Phil will be lecturing at these digital panels. That'll be his thing.
That
Big
will be.
techie guy. All right, you guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.